Greetings everyone. Today we're going to discuss the first question which was asked in the Codeforces latest round. So let's just begin the discussion. Let me bring my pen. Okay, let's just read the question at once. Okay, and then we will directly move to approach because it's very straightforward question. So question is flip the sum. Okay, so what it state that it's state that you are given an array of n integers from a1 to an, and the integers are either 1 or minus 1, right? And we have to perform exactly one operations, right? And what we have to do in that operation, choose an indexing I and flip the ai and ai plus 1th bit. Okay, and the flipping means to flip, change the bit from 1 to minus 1 and vice versa, right? So yeah, here given t is equal to 500, given it's that the n over all test case doesn't exist 10 to the power 5, because it means that we can simply solve this in O of n, right? Let's just look at the sample test cases. Let me tell you the approach first, then we will look at the sample test cases. Okay, so suppose we are given an array a1, a2, a3, a4 and an, right? And the sum of this is s. Suppose the sum is s. Okay, so we can select any two consecutive element, right? We can select any two consecutive, either with this or this, any two consecutive element, and we can flip their bit. And we know that the elements in this array will only be 1 and minus 1. So to maximize this sum, to increase the value of the sum, what we have to choose? Well, the most ideal condition will be if we choose the two element which are minus 1, basically two consecutive minus 1, because if we choose two consecutive minus 1, then what will happen? Our sum will increased by 4, right? Our sum will increased by 4. Yeah, it's quite obvious, right? Because I guess it's quite intuitive and obvious that our sum will increase by 4. Okay, now uh, let me write again a1, a2, a3, a4. So first condition is like if we get the two consecutive minus 1, then our sum will increased by 4, right? So in this case the sum answer will be s plus 4, and the sum s is the sum of entire array. Okay, case 2, if in our array there is a no two consecutive minus ones, then what will be our next best choice? Our next best choice will be minus 1 comma 1, right? We choose the two indexing such that one of them, we choose an indexing such that one of the element is 1 and his and another element is minus 1, or one of the element is 1 and another element is minus 1. Okay, so you get the point, right? And the third case is what? When we don't find any two consecutive minus 1, we don't find the indexing such that his there is a 1 and minus 1 neighbors of the each other, right? So then what case left? 1 comma 1. Then in this case what will happen? Our sum will decrease by 4, right? You all get the, because uh, these twos, these 1 1 which were previously contributing to the sum, it will not contribute now, and additionally it will give the minus 2 in place of these two ones 1. Okay, so it is the worst case. And what will happen here? Our sum will not get affected because the 1 will flip to minus 1 and minus 1 will flip to 1. So these are the only four cases, right? So we will have to code according to that. So we get the intuition, right? Let's just look at the sample test cases, right? So here what we have to find, our best case was to get the two consecutive minus 1, right? So here, see, here we get the two consecutive minus 1. So previously sum was what? Let me clear this. Yeah. So previously sum was what? It was minus 1. Okay. Now what will happen? We get the two consecutive ones, so sum will increase by what? 4. So it is 3. 3, correct? And here what? Here we again found the two consecutive minus 1, and here it clearly mentioned that we have to perform operation only once, right? Not more than one. So here we will also choose two consecutive ones. So previously it was minus 1, and after performing the operation it will what? It will be plus 4, so it's 3. So in here we don't have two consecutive minus 1, we don't have minus 1 and 1 as the neighbor of each other, so only case left is case 3, where we have two consecutive 1. right? In this case, what, the sum is decreased by 4, right? So here, see, the previously the sum was 2, right? In third test case the sum was 2 minus 4, it is minus 2 now, so it's clearly given there. And the last test case here also is the same condition, we will choose the two consecutive minus 1, so sum will increased by 4. So previously it was 0, now 4, so it's 4, right? It's 4 here. So yeah, it was the intuition and all things are here. So let's just move to the solution, and for let me guide you the code base, right? Okay. So yeah, here I have here I have taken the test for the test cases, all the test cases which are given. For each test case, I have taken the x as the n, and m- make the array, okay, or vector, whatever you say. I have calculated the sum here, right? And the here is the main part which I have just explained. If the product of two consecutive number is 1, and we know the any of the element is not 1, basically if the product of two number is minus 1, let me walk through. If the product of two number is 1, then what we know, the number should be minus 1 into minus 1, because if this is not 1, it's quite obvious, right? I don't have to explain this. So it is our case 1 and most obvious case, and we know we have to perform the operation on this only. So I have declared the c is equal to 1 and break the loop, right? If we don't find something like this, right, then we will check what, we will check that if vi into vi minus 1 is equal to minus 1, it means what, it is the case 2 where one of the is minus 1 and another is 1, right? uh, Another one is 1, right? So it is the second case, and I have checked declared the c1 as 2. So c is basically keeping the record that which type of case we are encountering. C0 denotes that both the numbers, there is only ones in the array, right? C1 denotes that there is a pair where two consecutive ones are there, and C2 denotes that there is a pair where one is 1 and another is minus 1, right? So basically one minus 1 and 1 are two neighbor elements, it's denoting that, okay. And I had not break the loop here, because if we found the case where the two neighboring minus 1 is there in the later part of the array, then we will consider that only. So if c is equal to 0 means what, we have to decrease the overall answer by 4, because only the ones are there. If C1 is equal to 1, it means what? We found the two pairs such that the adjacent pairs are two numbers such that the adjacent pairs are minus 1, so we'll increase the sum by 4. And the last case is that C is equal to 2, so no, we know that a no effect on the sum will be there, so we'll just simply print out the sum. So that was all from my side. I guess the solution was quite clear, and if you don't understand or have any doubts, then feel free to ask in the comment section and in the groups. Have a happy coding.